All right, welcome to this explainer. We're going to dive right in today because we're looking at source material covering what is, without a doubt, one of the most dangerous, mysterious, and honestly fascinating places on the entire planet. And get this, it's located right in India. Yeah, we're talking about North Sentinel Island. If you're at all fascinated by the unknown, human history, and, the extreme lengths we have to go to protect it, well, this explainer is absolutely going to blow your mind. Because the reality is, once you enter, returning is almost impossible. And look, that's not some Hollywood exaggeration just to scare you. It's a documented reality. The sheer danger surrounding this location is so intense that the Indian government has laid down an absolute non-negotiable ban on anyone trying to go there. You can't just, charter a boat and show up. It is strictly forbidden. It's an island entirely shrouded in immense danger and total secrecy.
So, let's get into our first section, India's most dangerous island, a hidden world near the Andamans.
Just to set the stage for you, geographically, this heavily forested, deeply perilous island is out in the Bay of Bengal, part of the Andaman Islands archipelago. But like we said, you can't just sail up to its beautiful coral reefs. There is a strictly enforced 5-kilometer exclusion zone around it. 5 kilometers? Going anywhere within that perimeter is completely illegal. The Indian Coast Guard and Navy are out there actively patrolling the waters to enforce this quarantine. But, as you'll see in a minute, this heavy security, it isn't just about protecting clueless tourists from the island. It's equally about protecting the island from us.
Which brings us to the people who actually live inside that exclusion zone in our next section. The mysterious Sentinelese tribe, isolated for thousands of years.
This contrast is the real heart of the mystery. For millennia, literally thousands of years, the Sentinelese have called this specific island home, with virtually zero meaningful contact with the outside world. They are completely an island unto themselves. Just take a second to think about the sheer mind-bending difference between their reality and ours. I mean, on one hand, we've got the modern world, right? We're constantly surrounded by AI, robotics, smartphones, and high-speed internet. And on the other hand, North Sentinel Island. No internet, no phones, no electricity, no cars. Nothing. They are completely and totally disconnected from everything that you and I consider to be just normal daily life. It is quite literally a perfectly intact, living time capsule.
And that intense isolation brings us to a pretty dark reality, covered in this section: deadly encounters with outsiders, a strict policy of hostility.
The tension around this place is just immense. The Sentinelese absolutely despise outside contact, and they don't just, politely ask you to leave or fire off a few warning shots. They actively defend their borders with lethal force. If we trace their timeline, after millennia of profound isolation, we jump right to the modern era, specifically the year 2004. So, after the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami, the Indian government actually sent helicopters just to check on the tribe, genuinely wondering if they had even survived the catastrophe. Their response? Tribesmen literally ran out onto the beach and fired arrows straight up at the hovering aircraft. And then, tragically, just a few years ago, a foreign tourist met a really terrible fate when he tried to force contact.
And tragically, his body was never recovered. The stakes here are absolute life and death, no exaggeration. The source material details how this foreign tourist secretly navigated to the island, reportedly wanting to, help the tribe and teach them. But almost the second he set foot on that pristine beach, the tribe attacked. He never came back. And because of the extreme danger, plus the island's legally protected status, mounting a retrieval mission was simply impossible.
So, seeing all of this hostility and tragedy, you kind of have to ask the logical question: why leave them completely alone? I mean, why don't modern governments just intervene, use our superior technology, and force peaceful contact, or at least run an investigation? It's a completely natural question to ask when you're looking at it from our modern perspective. But the answer to that actually requires us to pivot towards deep empathy and hard biological science.
And that brings us to a truly critical section, the threat of modern diseases, a vulnerable biology. This is the absolute core reason why the island is so heavily restricted. It is not just about protecting outsiders from flying arrows. It is a harsh biological reality that makes their continued isolation absolutely necessary for their very survival as a people. The scientific consensus is crystal clear here. It is better not to disturb them because even a normal cold could be deadly. Because the Sentinelese have been profoundly isolated for thousands of years, their immune systems have just never encountered the pathogens that you and I carry around every single day. Exposure to our everyday modern diseases, honestly even a simple sneeze or a common cold virus, could trigger a catastrophic epidemic. It would easily and rapidly wipe out the entire tribe. For them, contact quite literally equals death.
So to protect them, we just leave them be. Let's move on to our next section,
an untouched ancient world, what we still don't know.
Because of this strictly enforced isolation, this profound, incredible mystery still remains. They are right there on the map, but scientifically, anthropologically, culturally, they are largely a complete blank slate to us. So, what exactly don't we know? Well, almost everything. We don't know their exact population size, the estimates on that vary wildly. We have absolutely zero idea what language they speak on that island. We don't even fully understand their daily survival methods, their social structure, or, honestly, how they managed to survive that 2004 tsunami so effectively. In our highly connected information age where satellites can literally read a license plate from space, it is incredibly rare and, frankly, pretty humbling to have such massive blind spots about a group of fellow humans living on the exact same planet.
Which leaves us with this final, incredibly provocative question. In a world of AI and the internet, how long can this ancient, untouched window into our past actually remain isolated? It is absolutely marvel-inducing to think that while we are busy building artificial intelligence, shooting for Mars, and connecting the entire globe, this rare, untouched place exists totally parallel to our modern lives, just a few miles off the coast of India. It's a living, breathing reminder of human history and resilience. I really hope this explainer sparked your curiosity to learn a bit more about the incredible world of anthropology. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.